Here's me, age 20, working every weekend at my dad's restaurant, saving every single penny. A few years later, after graduating, I got an accounting 9 to 5 job, continued working on the weekends, and eventually got my first property. But when the buzz of buying my first property started to wear off, I started to think to myself, this property thing isn't what it's made out to be, because I was barely making money. To add more misery, my first property got subsidence. It was a nightmare. Fast forward a few years, I now own 18 properties. I've helped over 150 people invest in property. I finally cracked the code, and in this video I'm going to show you how to actually make money in property. So if you look at what most normal people do, they usually make two main mistakes, and funny enough, they tend to make both of those mistakes at the same time. It's almost like they go hand in hand. So a normal person who isn't a savvy investor will put a 25% deposit down on a property, and that property is usually a nice property. Even if it's not brand new like the first property I bought, it doesn't need much work to it, right? And the reason why I bought a new build for my first property is because I genuinely thought that's what makes you money, because brand new, it's going to be rented out quickly, it looks better than the other houses out there, and obviously it's just less hassle for me because I don't need to do anything to it, right? Because it's a brand new. But there's a huge problem with that, which I'm going to explain in a bit. But let's talk about the second mistake. So after I bought my first property in 2013, I started an e-com business where I started to make money. It was the first time in my life where I was making really good money, and I was never really flashy. I always knew that I wanted to do property, and at that time I thought the best way of doing property was by paying off the mortgage for my first property. And the reason why I thought that was a good idea was because that's what my parents did, and that's what most normal people did, pay off their mortgages early. I wasn't around professional investors, so I thought, let's pay off my mortgage, I'll be debt free, and then eventually when I have a bit more money, maybe I'll buy another one. Now, I was lucky in the sense that I was able to put down big chunks of money towards paying off the mortgage. What most people who don't have the luxury do is they'll spend 20 to 25, even 30 years paying off the mortgage. They work really hard, and some people even use that as a sign of success down there. Oh, I've only got 6 years left on mortgage, or I'm halfway towards paying off my mortgage. You get the idea. And then at the end of it, those are the same kind of people who end up retiring with maybe 1, 2 properties, maybe 3 if they're lucky. Because I made those same mistakes doing property the old-fashioned way, I was only able to buy 2 properties in 6 years. The first one in 2013 and the second one in 2019. So the reality is my first few years in property were not very good because I was taught wrong. So what was the thing that helped me go from owning 2 properties in 2019 to then 18 properties in just a few years? It's the same thing that I'm doing to hopefully buy 1 property a month this year, and if I don't, at least I'll get close to that goal. And this is what I've learned. So let's talk about nice properties first. Knowing what I know now, when it comes to property investing and making money from it, you do that by adding value to the property. So when I mean adding value, it's refurbing it and adding a new bathroom, replacing the new kitchen, basically turning an ugly house into a new house kind of thing. But if you're already buying a new build like I did, or a nice property in general that's already got these new nice things in place, then the truth is that you won't be able to add that value and make money on it, at least in the short to medium term anyway. So let's think about this for a second using first principles, right? So imagine you've got a nice property, or you're looking to buy a nice new property. Excuse my drawing, but hopefully this gets the point across. So imagine this is a nice property, and when a property is nice, it's naturally going to be more appealing for people, because let's be honest, no one really wants to live in a dive. So a nice property will be more appealing, okay? So if it's more appealing to more people, that naturally means that the demand for that property is going to be higher, because again, it's more, it's a better looking property. And then when there's more demand for a property, that means more competition. Yeah, and if there's more competition, then naturally the price of the property is going to be more expensive. It's simple economics, guys.
We'll get back to the video in a few seconds, but 70% of you watching this video aren't subscribed to my channel. Please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and buy more properties in the next few months. I'll be sharing everything so you can learn from my mistakes for free Anyways, back to the video.
And you can even start digging deeper into a nice or brand new property. So for example, all that means is that someone, whether it's you, me, an investor, or a big developer, they've essentially taken an old smelly property, refurbed or developed it themselves and put a markup on it, because let's be honest, no one is going to put all that time and effort in for free. So as a result, they'll charge a premium for their effort and time and eventually sell to the normal person. And at the end of the day, it's the investor or developer who ends up making the most money on it. Once I understood that concept, I thought, oh shit, that's why developers are rich. It's because they're the ones who are adding the value, and by adding the value, they're able to make the money. And then it got me thinking about the quote, which some of you have probably heard of before, which is buy the worst house in the best neighborhood. It's not a cliche, it's because it's true. And that's when it hit me, and that's when I was like, okay, so in order to make money, I need to be buying those rundown houses where I can fix up, I can refurb, I can add value to, or whatever you want to call it. Now let's talk about the second mistake that stops people from making money in property. It's the thing that most of us are taught, which is you should pay off your mortgage. Now, paying down your mortgage has some perks. Let's be honest, it gives you the peace of mind, possibly more stability. I understand that as well. But if you look at it fundamentally, will paying off your mortgage actually make you money? The sneaky thing is, and the banks won't really tell you this, but for the first few years, very little of the capital is paid off in the early years anyway. Most of your repayments will be going towards paying down the interest on the capital you borrowed. If you look at this table here, you'll see how your interest and capital repayment changes over time using a 200k mortgage and 5% interest as an example. It's only after year 12 that you start paying more towards the capital. And this is important to know because I'm sure a lot of you are probably thinking that your repayment mortgage for your home is paying a lot of your capital down. If it's less than 10 years, it's probably not. And the reason why that's a big thing is because think about it. When you're using a repayment mortgage, you're hoping that you're paying down your property. And when the property prices go up in say 5, 10, 15 years time, you'll be able to benefit from that because you've paid some of the capital down. But the truth is, in reality, you don't make much of a dent, which means you're not really benefiting from repayment mortgages anyway, especially in the first few years. So let me show you what savvy investors do. And this concept itself, it changed the game for me, guys. So I'm going to try to draw this out to explain this concept. So this is what a normal person does, right? I'll just put normal here. A normal person, they'll save all their lives, spend 20 to 20 or even 30 years paying down the mortgage, right? And the interest rate is 3 to 4%. And what they'll do is they'll spend 20 to 30 years paying down the mortgage. And then at the end of it, this is the interest rate. And then at the end of it, they'll end up retiring with maybe 1, 2, 3 properties, right? Because if you think about it, most of their life they're focused on paying down the one house, saving 3 to 4%. But the thing is, a savvy investor understands that the interest rate of 3 to 4% is actually quite cheap because a home loan is one of the cheapest loans you'll ever get, right? When you think about other loans, say car loans, payday loans, credit card loans, they're like 10, 15, 20%, right? So that's a savvy investor. My writing is all over the place. Anyways, what a savvy investor, an investor that actually makes money, does is instead of saving a pot of money towards paying the mortgage down and then saving that 3 to 4% interest for a down arrow, no. Instead, what they'll do is with that pot of money, they'll buy another property. And rather than paying down the mortgage, they'll buy another property because they understand that they're using instead of saving 3 to 4% interest, instead they're making 15 to 20% returns as a minimum. For context, guys, my properties, most of them are over 15% return, right? So think about it. Would you rather save 3 or 4% on your mortgage, or would you rather make 15 to 20% returns? And that 15 to 20% return is just based on the cash flow. Take into account future appreciation, the returns are much higher. So you do the maths, guys. You want to save 3 or 4%, or you want to make 15 to 20% plus? So effectively, I'm using debt, the 3 to 4% debt, to grow my portfolio. A portfolio that cash flows and appreciates over time, and I repeat the process each time. My goal isn't now to pay down the mortgage, it's to leverage good debt wisely and accumulate more assets that cash flow and appreciate. This is why I now have 18 properties, and that's how I'm able to make money. If I use the old methods of trying to pay off the mortgage or wait years and years for the property values to go up, I'd probably be on 4 properties, maybe 5, maybe 6, definitely not 18. And you tell me over the long term, what's going to make more money, 6 properties or 18? So in a nutshell, the way to make money from property is by adding value to it, and instead of paying down the mortgage, refinance and reinvest. This is why I love the BRR strategy, which is buy, refurb, rent and refinance. It's my favorite strategy, and let's go through it. So buy, we already know that we have to buy a property that's kind of run down and not those nice kind of properties. Refurb, we know that we have to add value to make the money. Refinance, we've covered that. We need to refinance instead of paying down the mortgage, which leaves us with the final thing from the BRRR, which is rent. Now, why is renting the way to make more money? Why not just flip it and get those big chunks of money in? Now, don't get me wrong. Before I say all this, you can make a lot of money flipping properties. Loads of people do it successfully. But again, by first principles, and I've started to realize this more and more myself, that yeah, buying rundown properties, adding value, will make you good money in the short term. But if you want that true generational money, right, then you can only do that by holding onto the property for a long time. When I mean long time, I'm talking 15, 20, 25 years time. Because when you hold a property for that long, then that's when the property prices goes up massively. And another thing to remember is that yeah, cash flow is good, it's great, but the majority of your wealth or money will be made by the capital growth. So if you're there flipping properties, if you think about it, you don't get to benefit from the capital growth. Someone else does, the person you're selling it to. That's why if you buy, refurb, rent, refinance, and then hold on to the property for a long time, if you do just that, I promise you, you make a lot of money. It's really as simple as that, but you have to be disciplined, you have to be patient and stick to it, because that's how you actually make money in property. And if you want to learn more about the BRRR, then watch this video I've just pulled up, which is how I bought 4 properties for £66,000, which will explain BRR in a bit more detail. I'll see you soon.